socialism in our country. America was founded on liberty and independence, and not government coercion, domination, and control. We are born free, and we will stay free. Tonight, we renew our resolve that America will never be a socialist country.
To which the marvelous overflowing fountains of wisdom gathered around the table were asked, "What do you make of this?" And they gave a very predictable reply. Oh, come on. Of course, YouTube doesn't actually let you navigate through a video anymore. You know, they started fucking with that as soon as I started doing this. Alright, where is the goddamn thing? Oh, now I went too far, huh? Hold on. I want to show Pelosi's little golf clap. That looks about right. I'm going to get to the socialist thing in just a second. But of course, those of you who've been watching the channel for a while know exactly what's going on there. Those of you who haven't been watching the channel probably have no clue, just like a lot of these people. Now, you know what? I'm on the wrong clip. It's the one with Sinbad in it. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't see Sinbad. Sinbad said that was her pimp slapping him from behind. I was like, yeah, she sure had him bent over that fucking podium. There we go. Alright, so credit to Mr. Melber and thank you to MSNBC for having this lovely little clip of the State of the Union up. I'm sure everybody's noticed at least one of the bits of this.
Members of Congress, the state of our union is strong. Ridiculous partisan investigations. I have ordered another 3,750 troops to our southern border, compromise and the common good.
Yeah. Pretty fucking hilarious. And that, oh man, people are gonna get over real quick how he basically bullshits his base with every speech with this half-ass placatory bipartisanship. Like it's worse than pandering, for fuck's sake. Like, don't you people realize how evil and sinister you're being? How on the bad side of history in general you're being? You are the part of the tribe of Israel that did not listen. Well, everyone who wasn't a Russian agent has already been fired from the Trump administration. The reason why we had a good old-fashioned Communist Party rebuttal by the good old-fashioned Communist Party Bernie Sanders is because we've been conquered. We have been over-fucking taken. We have been de-entitized. Okay? De-entitized by the Soviet Union. Remember that country that we thought didn't exist anymore? That's because we never knew its fucking name. You understand? It was the Horde. The undying, 1,000-year, never-ending Horde. And if you just look back in history, there's a point where one person's little story convinced us the Horde didn't exist anymore. You know who that person is? Marco. Polo. Marco. Polo. The baptism of the blind. Marco. Polo. Don't close your eyes while you're underwater. Their time has come, or am I not here? The faithful will be redeemed. The faithless will be cast by the wayside. The revolution will begin. Or prophecy will be finalized. Indeed. Akuyevs. Ah, well, those look like some familiar dates. Are you talking about the times when I was sort of a non-corporeal little boy? Only me and some top secret government organizations should know anything about that? Those dates just happen to line up. That's kind of funny. I don't know. Yeah, that would be because of the shift of reality that we caused in 1984. There's a lot of things that you'll notice because of that, and because of the shift again in 2011. Events between 1984 and 2011 all seem offset by 2.5 years. Well, celestial events. Yes, and how old is grayscale CGI? That's one of my favorites. Anyways. Stop distracting me, let's get back onto the subject. But, you know. Welcome, whether you're a real person, poorly translated person, or just a friendly bot. I don't care. At least you're entertaining. Anyway. So let's talk about, and that's a good way of putting it, Trump and the straw man. Or how Trump is the straw man. You see, what we have is two different sides of a straw man. We got the far left straw man, the far right straw man, both calling America itself by nothing but straw man arguments. Arguing against things like slavery and colonialism as if they were our fault. Trump is a Russian who was boarded in Pakistan. His father was a multinational. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Very good. Just let me talk. Let me talk. You're distracting me. You're doing good, but you're distracting me. I'm gonna try. You can go ahead and feel free to cheerlead. I'm gonna put a pack of cigarettes up so I'm not constantly seeing your comments there, but I do appreciate that you actually know what the fuck you're talking about. Anyways, so I hope you've been a subscriber for a while. It seems like you know more than most people, which is why a lot of people wind up here and just seeking the truth is, well, it's harder and harder just to seek the truth without seeing some of it. And that's why it's getting harder and harder to wind up here, where you can find the rest of it. 2,000 years at least of buried history, all cramped up in one crazy guy's brain for one reason or another. And that understanding has led the community that's developed around this channel, not just myself, but viewers, friends that have helped, see what's going on in the present for what it really is. See what's really happening to our country right now, to the world right now. And now I've been warning for a long time that the next step would be a turn by Russia towards supporting socialist utopian ninnies. Yeah, ninnies. I think that's the best. Lesbians and mama's boys. I mean, sorry. No, that's an insult to lesbians. But that's all Trump wants you to see. Trump just wants you to see the scary ones with just too many different hair colors and holes in their nose and ears and cheeks and eyebrows and shit. Not that there's anything wrong with a couple here and there, but you know the ones I'm talking about. They love to put them on TV on Fox News, you know. People who have just manifested their emotional problems into a fashion statement. Well, demons begot demons. They get those viewers who have become lukewarm in their faith to stand or sit on their easy chairs and cast judgment as hypocrites, knowingly, intentionally, provocationally, they do this, just as Trump knowingly, intentionally, and provocationally made a call out to socialists. Socialists who he knows his mafia partnership is out there supporting, according to him, just to strengthen his base. Socialists that he knows represent a very small portion of the Congress, and that by all rights, if not for the Russian interference in the 2016 campaign, would have been called out as the socialists they are, Bernie Sanders and Ken. And now we have our new Fox News friendly, pretty petite little socialist. Well, you know how they like to put the pretty girls on Fox News. And they just can't keep her off their fucking screen for 5 minutes. Oh man. I didn't know fucking Fox News turned into a socialist propaganda network. But apparently, they just can't get enough of the new socialist star. Although, frankly, I wonder if all the shit about her being a socialist is a little bit hyped up. But I'm not going to speak too kindly of her. For reasons, I guess I'll just leave it to the extremely clever, or Kever, whichever you call yourself, to try to figure out. But let's just say Trump's little call out to socialism was a planned, programmatic response that is part of a scheme to program you, the public, that was based in an algorithmic sequence with the promotion of this idea that AOC wanted to raise the capital gains high income rate to 70%. That's socialism, they've been telling you on Fox News. Well, no, that's not socialism. That's not even Reaganism. That's not even Eisenhowerism. It's not fucking socialism. It's forcing companies to innovate. But greedy, weak-minded cowards are afraid of having to innovate. I don't even know if AOC said anything about that. If the Russians thought that would really ruffle feathers or somehow cause defeatism among the Democrats. Oh no, she's getting popular and she's going too far. They were wrong. Because 70% ain't a fucking bad idea. I think 49% would be better. But I think you should have to earn the 49%. And I think by being a low profit public trust type entity, and I think we need to restructure the law around low profit corporations, or benefit corporations as they're known, and allow them to achieve even better tax margins. But aside from actual benefit corporations who can prove that they are benefit corporations through a profit, pseudo-profit funded voluntary audit process, basically You want to be a benefit corp? Open up them books, baby. No Wyoming, Nevada, fucking Colorado, Texas registrations and shit. None of that. Okay. Open up them books if you want to be a benefit corp. Then you get your baseline 42%. And then the ability to bring that down to zero through your investment into the community. Investment into the community, which can help secure your company. And there's a way to do this to where shareholders still get paid. Okay, it's a benefit corp. It's still a corp, but it's a benefit corp. But, you know, when it comes to public works, inventiveness, planning, innovation, actual deep thought, taking a step back from the greed itself and looking forward to the long-term future of a town, for instance, or a region in a state, a series of towns along a highway, where vast swaths of land are available, is, say, building a road or running electricity, helping run some sort of wiring or plumbing or transportation conduits to what might be a neighborhood. You know, help the progress of civilization, do things that otherwise city governments and shit would have to fund, add to your future profit potential in doing so, but get a tax write-off. Okay, that's what I think we should open up for benefit corps to do. But when it comes to fucking massive profit corporations, these fucking companies that have their CEOs making millions and millions of dollars. And by the way, a couple of $1 million a year for a CEO is not a lot of fucking money. I repeat, a couple of $1 million a year for a CEO is not a lot of money. Just being a CEO, you're likely to spend $100,000 a year on personal travel that's conducive to your business. You're likely to spend another $100,000 a year on just taking random people to dinner to try to get deals done with them. A couple $1 million a year is not a lot to a CEO of a major corporation. They typically, now, you know, there's corrupt bullshit fucking companies that are essentially cons in a bag, okay? But a typical corporate CEO, you know, not someone who inherited their wealth like Trump, but someone who actually had to fucking claw their way up through Harvard and Yale and shit, and then claw their way up, say like Rex Tillerson, for instance. Rex Tillerson might have been fooled by the propaganda at the beginning. Rex Tillerson might have actually thought, like a lot of skinheads in Houston thought in the early 90s when I was there, that the Russians were going to save the white man. Okay? There's a lot of good Russians in Texas. We thought there were just more good Russians all over Russia. We were wrong. Rex Tillerson found out that he was wrong. Rex Tillerson worked his way up into being the CEO of ExxonMobil. Okay? Guys like that, man, they work 20 fucking hours a day sometimes. They catch up on sleep on the weekends. And I mean, by catching up on sleep, they catch up on sleep like I do. Oh, I'm gonna get 6 hours instead of 3. Look at me, I'm fancy. Being a CEO, hell, it's a lot like being me. It's a lot like being president. You have, you know, you're not trying to save money to fix a fucking car or buy a house or anything like that anymore. You're trying to make sure 5,000 to 20,000 people also can. Trying to make sure that your company doesn't hire a bunch of criminals that gets you in trouble. Let me just ask you this: when you shun $1 million CEO salaries, would you want to do their jobs? That's like people thinking they would want to be Jesus. Trust me, you don't want to be Jesus. That is the worst job ever. Not a lot of perks. But at least I can laugh about it. So anyways, what for-profit corporations need to start doing? It's a lot like I don't know where people are watching are from right now. If you're in the United States, tell me what state you're in. If you're in a different country, tell me what country you're in, and I'll try to paint some examples. But in my state, Louisiana, and Gulf coastal states in general, especially Florida and Louisiana, where you have all the extensive marshlands and wetlands, you have... Hey, Neville, you have, by the way, Neville, doing well. I'll know more in about 2 weeks. I know, it's like, oh, just taking forever, but we're doing good so far. By 2 weeks, I'll probably know when I'll start hammering spikes into the ground. But so in my state, what we have is grants, okay? Now you have like college professors that get together with a bunch of students and, you know, educational boards and the wildlife and different conservation society, excuse me. And they will, through either the college or school itself or a nonprofit organization, apply for these grants, okay? But then they will also have reward competitions, okay? And this is what I'm like, ooh, here's where I help my funding process along, because I'm sitting here inventing all kinds of different stuff that are going to help the environment and the government and everything, you know. They have these competitions where if they need a problem addressed and they don't really know how to do it, they call out to private business owners and say, come compete for this. And it's not so much of a bidding process as an open-eyed, like a science fair almost. Yeah, how cool is that? It's like a science fair of business plans. Well, why don't we do that for anybody who wants to get down from 49 back to 42, or down down to 34 where they're at now, or whatever. I think it's 34. It should be 37. Is it 34 now when it was 37 under Reagan? At the end of Reagan? You know what I say? You know, my theories are based on research and speculation and this is very important, a lot of other changes to the economy, okay, and how we structure things. A more, I mean, basically, the government needs to prioritize the middle class, period. You can't fund a government without the middle class being business owners. Not fucking service people, people that actually make shit and sell it. Okay? The bourgeoisie. You cannot have international corporations relied upon for taxes. You cannot have the poor relied upon for taxes. International corporations can hide their fucking money, can't they? And there's really nothing one or two governments or 15 or 20 governments can do about it. You would need all the governments to cooperate. And do you see that fucking happening? I mean, if a bunch of governments want to come out and say, we found Jesus, there's a chance. But good luck without me, kids. So I'm just going to plan for the whole without me thing, because, you know, fat chance. Y'all ain't ready for this. You've clearly demonstrated it. I've given you chance after chance. Anyways, so we need to have competitions. Federal competitions. You, Sprint, Exxon, Ford, Dow, whatever. Rubbermaid. You want a tax incentive to reinvest into the community. Okay. Show me your plan, and we'll show you the money. And whoever has the best plan gets the best fucking tax rate for the next year. You know? Let's do some fucking gold, silver, bronze runner-up type shit. Let's not even give it all away. And have companies fucking compete. And guess what? They'll get free publicity out of it that'll be worth its weight in gold. Think about that shit. The winner of the Corporate Benefit of the Year award is, you know? Or what, you want to tune into the Oscars? You see, the way we release cars, okay, as hard as we try to make it exciting when we release a new car, you still got the one guy in the fucking suit that spends too long talking, okay? If we could just take the lessons learned from that and make this less of a corporate event and more of a fucking Grammys, you know, like a fucking an awards show, a reality type awards show, okay? We're missing so many fucking opportunities as a country, and we're selling ourselves short, considering that we made this whole audio-visual fucking trend happen. Well, unless you want to be stubborn and insist that the Nazis get credit for it. Do you? Do you? Huh? But no, it was the Nazis. No, don't do that. Because guess what? The fucking good ones that survived came here anyway. Because they were good little Nazis. I mean, like the Jews who fucking got forced to work for them. And that's why, and I've said before, if you were a Jew, or even just a Democrat who wasn't a fucking psychopath, just a normal German Christian, okay, who wasn't a sociopath, who wasn't sadistic, who wasn't a fucking coward, and you came here, you'd have been all too willing to help the fucking Jews establish as many newspapers and TV companies and movie companies and whatever they wanted to do, just to help them keep from having happened to them what happened to them in Germany, where you had the Dick Van Dykes and oh shit, what's his name? Thank you very much. That guy. Holy fuck, just drawing a blank. But like the Johnny Carsons, the Dave Lettermans of the Nazi era, made fun of Jews the way we make fun of Trump. Just constantly. Only, you know, not for good reason. It would be kind of like if you took the far-right propaganda against Muslims and tried to ascribe that to all Muslims. That's how they were treating the Jews in Germany. Okay? Only, imagine if like Letterman and Leno were doing it. Or these days, what? Fallon and Colbert. Yeah. I can't be made paranoid about the large presence of Jewish people in American media culture. But that being said, and that being the case, I can see exactly why the Soviets would send a bunch of false Jews to infiltrate those organizations and channels and companies. And you know what? I don't even know what Republican said it, but he just had that Trumpist smirk con artist kind of vibe to him. It was back in the 80s. He made a statement akin to, actually it was 91. When, was it 91 or 92? I know what the event was, okay. The event was when Saddam had invaded Kuwait. And it was right before the massacre on the road leading away from it. And, you know, I cheered it on at the time, but it really was a fucking massacre. Because we were being fed a lot of hyperbolized information. Not necessarily false information, but very hyperbolized information about what the Iraqis were doing to the Kuwaitis. What we weren't told at the time was that Kuwait had basically seceded from Iraq. But anyways, what was said in Congress was while Wolf Blitzer was there, a congressperson, Southerner, I would think from Georgia or Tennessee or something like that, said that who needs the CIA when we've got CNN? Because basically it had been presented that if it wasn't for CNN's fine reporting, we wouldn't know what was going on down there in Kuwait. which led us to, yeah, the road slaughter, whatever the fuck it is, like that corridor between, and all y'all, if you've done any sort of fucking levels of research on here in the past 10, 20 years, or 50, how long has it been YouTube now? Fucking 14 years. Reminds me of a Guns N' Roses song. For 14 years now, you should have seen the Shame on America stories about how when the Iraqis withdrew from Kuwait, which is why we didn't actually send a physical invasion force back then, instead of letting them withdraw, we just launched a fucking all-out air assault on the highway that they were withdrawing on. And most of us have seen the images of that, even some of the gun camera footage of that. We were very thorough. Like, we were so ruthless, the Russians were taking shots. Like, Opa! You know, oh, come on. Is that... That's some Russian level shit we did. And we hadn't really done anything like that since fucking World War II, man. You know, fucking B-52ing a road is a whole different story from having fucking basically close air support going in and doing mop-up, you know. And of course, being as it was in the desert, they had nowhere to run, man. Anyway, I forgot where the fuck I was going with that story. Oh no. Fucking pack of cigarettes. Distinct time. Where was I going with that story? Yeah, I think I already basically said the main point of it was we've had this Russia-Republican problem for a long time. We've had this, basically, the same people sending the false Jews promoting anti-Semitism. The same people sending the terrorists promoting Islamophobia. The same people sending the Satanists. The same people sending the Socialists. Promoting the hypocrites and the corrupt. And not just cheerleading them from afar. Not just making sure that those type of people get funded in their endeavors. But no, actually sending them to be born and raised here by their parents who would train them. Like Donald Trump. But his role was to be so important, we couldn't just rely on him being trained here by his international father. That's why he got sent to the mouth. What? Yes, you heard me. The mouth. Which is apparently something that just fucking came to me. So, it's time for weird psychic speculation shit. As much as it makes me feel awkward and like I'm just making something up when I do this, when I have an impression like this, what is it? We're like at least at 9 out of 10 times. It fucking pans out into something. This one's got me. I'm being fucking pressured right now. Why Pakistan? Why Pakistan? Trump? Bin Laden? What's there? A boarding school? If there was some sort of secret fucking super spy academy in Pakistan, you don't think somebody would have fucking noticed? What if there's a hole? What if there's a cave, boy? A cave of wonders? No, what if there's a hole? What if there's whatever spirit just told me? Whatever impression just got left in my mind. I don't know. That was my memory, or all I know is that it's fucking heavy, man. It's called the mouth, as in mouth to a cave. And there should be some sort of shrine-like statues around it, and the entrance to the cave should be some sort of mouth. But the mouth and the shrine and the statue itself has changed over the years. And skeptical brain takes over, and I'm like, how the fuck do you know this? What I'm wondering, the only logic I can put to it is maybe it was that the Buddha in the mountain that they demolished. Because, you know, all things being deployed, there's no reason for that to still be there. There might have been a secret entrance somewhere. I wonder what the proximity is between that and where Trump supposedly had his little whatever the fuck it was. I mean, that's supposed to be on record. They don't necessarily hide that. They don't publicize it, but they don't fucking hide that. They don't dispute that. He attended a boarding school in Pakistan. That was him in the little fucking khakis. That's bizarre. What's more bizarre? Me having the vision of that fucking thing, or Trump in khakis in Pakistan? You know, it's It's like the question of what's more weird, Jesus coming back or aliens taking over. Well, the obvious answer is if Jesus was an alien, that'd be pretty much the weirdest one. He had a really big head. Anyways. Oh, man. So years in the future, people aren't going to remember how Trump sort of pseudo-pandered to his own base by fake pandering to the center. Like, it's worse than pandering what he fucking did. They're not going to remember that, though. They're not going to remember how he just incoherently lied about the economy or bitched about the wall. No. All anyone's going to remember is how Nancy Pelosi had him bent over that podium like a little bitch. She might as well have had a strap on just fucking boo-fooing him. Death by boo-foo. I hope y'all remember that joke. Anyways. Oh yeah. In a year, I might be a millionaire. Right now, my license is expired. And I'm just trying to debate whether or not I want to drive around the corner and check out this property. I probably won't see any cops. The cops I will see, I probably know already. But still, it's like, I think even, and maybe it's only if you notice it. Maybe you have to manifest this yourself. I don't know. Okay, I really don't know now. Okay, I know what the rules are supposed to be. I know what a Catholic exorcist would tell me. Okay, but when you consider a possibility, like, let me just be really specific and not try to paint a different metaphor here, okay? I'm driving around on my fucking expired license, and I didn't know it. No bad karma, okay? But if I go out and drive on my expired license, and I don't get caught, karma meter goes down. You know, that's just the way I feel about it. Maybe I'm just paranoid. Maybe I just manifest that myself. But you know, breaking the law, even if it's a legalistic type law, a procedural law like a license renewal, breaking the law is breaking the law, and you don't want to do it, even if just because you can get away with it. It's still bad karma, even if you don't get caught. That's just my opinion, though. It's my personal observation as a man. But seems like good advice to me. It's one of them play it safe things. That kind of logic is why atheism is stupid, for instance. Pretty stupid. pretty fucking stupid. Just atheism as a strategy for, you know, the whole existence process thing. Stupid. Like the guys who become a Muslim, a Hindu, and marry a Jewish girl, and then convert to Christianity just so they can have all their bases covered. That's strategically fucking smart there. I'm gonna get baptized, get a prayer rug, get a yarmulke. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it proves how fucking stupid atheists are. Can't argue with that shit. Anybody wants to convince me that they're a proper atheist, that should be what they've done. An atheist doesn't believe that there's no God. That's a Satanist. That's a nihilist. That's just an asshole. That's somebody who's turned their emotional problems, their social disorders, into some sort of philosophical outlook and then wants to beat you over the head for still having some sort of faith. It's depression, the religion. Yeah, that's what atheism has become. But if you want to actually be purist about it, if you want to be logical about it, any atheist who takes pride in their own intellectuality, okay, should have a yarmulke, a cross, a prayer rug, a Pandora's box. I don't know what, like fucking just one of everything. Should be doing yoga, tai chi. Because otherwise, according to your own standards, you're psychologically incompetent. Because you essentially are suicidal. You essentially don't have the ability to preserve your own life. You're not acting on a sense of self-preservation, and you're deluding yourself based on an intellectually inferior concept of time itself. Okay? Your soul in linear time. And then there's time. This little path that you're on, according to your immortal soul, is just a blink of an eye. So, to be an atheist is to assume that your soul itself doesn't exist. Okay? That your soul itself has no potential, okay? Has no potential to exist beyond this point and only exist for this small time frame, okay? That is contrary to observational and experiential evidence, okay? Two reasons. One, spiritual and psychic phenomena in general. Two, the non-corporeal nature of the dream state. These two things are highly indicative that the soul can exist beyond the physically limited time frame that atheists seek as an excuse to profess nihilism and mask it as some sort of a logical standpoint. If you have any potential to exist beyond this life, to assume the opposite and to intentionally deny yourself of that existence is self-destructive. So take some Prozac or something, silly atheist. a real atheist should acknowledge, oh, yeah, people are stupid. None of them can speak for God or whatever. I don't know what God is. I don't know if there is a God. I don't know if there is a God, what God might be. But I'm still a logical person, and I acknowledge the evidence that there is, and I can perceive myself as a conscious, sentient being. Therefore, I would like to, because I am not a depressed little bitch who wants to commit spiritual suicide, I'm going to take all the best practices, okay? This is how logical people operate, isn't it? You take all the best practices, the most popular, logical paths to spiritual salvation, and you just do them all. Because, you know, anyone who's actually psychologically healthy, who's thinking clearly about shit, knows damn good and well that if you want to invest, you should diversify. Right? It's like diversification. But you know what? The Jews had it down packed the first time. Oh yeah. By Jews, I mean Hebrews. I mean, anybody who came across God in the old times and came to know God as an undefinable being, represented by definable beings, represented by hosts of many names. You want to know why? Because it's the most logical. Judaism, Hebraism, faith, old, natural, just regular family tradition faith in God. That's all it used to fucking be considered. Okay? That is a mutual fund. Ah. So wait, if you don't define God and you just believe in one God that's undefinable, you're not necessarily defining it as one even. You're just acknowledging that God is undefinable and paying respect and homage to that God and listening to the universe that God created and trying to figure out the path that, you know, that God wants you on. When you think of God as undefinable, you're investing in a mutual fund. So where was the logic to atheism again? That sounds like putting all your fucking money into one stock to me. That's like, it's actually, you know, it's on the same logic of going back to the ancient fucking Roman or Greek pantheon and just picking one of those gods and be like, I'm just going to rely on that one. It's got about the same level of logic to it. This guy with the gold dice and the winged shoes. Yeah, I think I'm just going to like follow that one. Yeah. Only the one you pick is a blank seat. It's like signing up for the military, signing your life away. Only the name at the top where it says which military is left blank. blank check on your soul. Man, to be like a fucking equity broker in hell, you know, like easy pickings. So anyways, I did do a little broadcast yesterday on the Lost Begotten, the Sean Morris channel. If you haven't seen that, you should check it out for some very in-depth advice on business and real estate investing. And some generic advice on how to negotiate prices and how to not get your price negotiated away from you. Anyway. So if you're interested or you're bored enough, make sure you check that out. I don't have either channel monetized anymore, so it doesn't do me any fucking good, but maybe one day I'll get my monetization back. Somebody at YouTube just decided that I shouldn't have as many rights as Russians because I dared to try to warn my country about the Russians. Shame on me. But now I'm sure they tell themselves that they're doing this to me because I got pissed because they did this to me because of the Russians. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's like keying somebody's car. Okay? Somebody keys your car. You fucking bitch slap them. Okay? Right? And then they call the cops on you? That's about YouTube's honor level. Don't worry, motherfuckers. I got my retirement plan all figured out thanks to you assholes. 3 square meals a day, free dental. Huh. And by the time I'm there, there'll be free weed too. See, the reason why I got them by the balls and not the other way around is because mine are just too fucking big to grasp, son. And there's also the fact that I, unlike Google or anyone at Google, actually know how to innovate. But I'm very sorry that you can't hack my sketchbook. Yeah, that's a little security loophole y'all forgot about. People can still write shit down, can't they? No matter how many paper mills you fucking close. That should give you an idea of the level of warfare that's taking place right now between the Prince of Darkness and all his wealth and all his worldly power, and little old me and my trailer in the countryside. The big factory outside of town that provides, or that did provide over 1,000 jobs to this town. Being a small town, it's a big chunk of jobs. I guess it was about 6 months ago they got bought by the Koch brothers corporation thing, right? And their big PR statement when they bought it was, we're gonna bring innovative processes to this plant and restructure it so it can be more profitable and provide more jobs for the local community, and blah 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 blah. But based on all of their ties to Russia, the NRA, the Dick Army, the ones with the Obama witch doctor and Obama Hitler things, and, health care for everybody is equivalent to death panels or whatever. Yeah, those fucking people. Persistent anti-American destructive policies is what they fucking promote. Those corporations that basically lead towards dystopia, that's what they promote. Those corporate practices that don't prioritize job creations and are therefore, as I said on the previous video on the other channel, are essentially not long-term viable corporate models. You have to create jobs. The bigger the company you are, the more important it is that you are focused on job creation as a priority. Otherwise, you're eventually, combined with other dildos like you, putting yourselves out of business. You're leading to a quasi-socialist dystopia. It's like the way socialism leads to a mafia dictatorship, and the reason why mafia dictatorships promote fucking socialism, by the way. Only you combine the whole socialist mafia dictatorship with fucking machines doing all the work, and nobody even having any fucking financial power based upon the works of their own hands. Fuck automation. God created people, and they're doing just fine if they would just live up to their own potentials. You don't need robots to do what you're too lazy to do. You can make robots to do what's too small for you to do. But the moment you start making robots just to take other people's jobs, Jeff Bezos, and base your entire corporate model off of taking people's jobs, Jeff Bezos, oh, there's a special kind of hell just for you. You'll find a lot of the people in charge of Google and YouTube there. I think I was making a different point, but I was getting a little too flustered with that. Just that fucking name pisses me off, Jeff Bezos. I think in the future, they're gonna make double spike dildos, where the part that goes up your ass is bigger than the part that goes up your twat. And those will be known as Jeff Bezos's. I don't know how they're going to specify which side. I just know that they're going to be called Jeff Bezos's. I'm going to strap on the Jeff Bezos, baby. As long as you got plenty of lotion. So, imagine that. A hobbit becoming a part of lesbian legend. I don't know if y'all think that's funny, but I think that's fucking funny right there. No, I got it. Maybe not a misallocated strap on. Maybe not a misallocated double strap, yeah, double strap on. Maybe a new technology and all-day suppository application. That, yes, the Bezos. Yes, the Bezos. It's like a little finger condom with vertically opposed sort of gripping prongs, designed to where you can stick it up your ass and it won't come out all day, basically. That's the Jeff Bezos. Yeah. And you can put whatever you want up there, you know, Tylenol, Pepto-Bismol, toothpaste, whatever. Put some baking soda in there. Be a volcano experiment. I'm sorry to whoever was taking a drink when I said that just then. Oh look, you're kind of like a little volcano experiment too. I think I may have gone too far, too early, too soon. Yes. I think the ghost of Robin Williams might have just sat down in full Mrs. Doubtfire attire. Oh, look who thinks he's a little comedian there. What jokes do you have next there, Sonny? Aren't we witty? Oh, lotion is it? How clever. It puts the lotion on, or it gets the Bezos. Well, that doesn't make any sense. It should be. It puts the lotion on, and it gets the Bezos. Ba-dum-bum-sh. So anyways, who's still watching? How y'all doing? What's going on in your neck of the woods? I think I'm all done with my wave of ranting there. I can't exactly call it a planned rant because y'all fucking it's been over a month, I think, since I even fucking used some notes. Hoi, 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 hoi. Driving to work, eh? I am looking forward to my future commute. Oh, yes. Open up the back door. Walk over 16 feet of deck. Open up the back door to the store. And I'm at work. Do watch the video on the Lost Begotten channel from last night for some strategy points on how to set that up for yourself, whether you're one of my people in the future fields, or whether you're just some random person who's tired of fucking hitting the feeder bar and is tired of watching your town go to shit. This is a way to secure your future and provide jobs for a local area. And I wish everyone the best in trying to, you know, make the fucking work of their own hands that God gave them pay off by using that method where applicable in the ways that are applicable. You know, the disclaimer being, of course, that if you don't have a group of carpenters who can come up with a superior method of construction, modular type construction, pre-deployed construction, with a signature style of architecture, that's also very important. This plan is going to be more difficult, but not impossible. And, you know, it's called the screwball method because it's hard to screw up and you're going to wind up a baller, okay? And even a screwball can get it done. You just got to find the right screwball, and you find a person who wants to make screws, you find a person who wants to make balls. You buy a big piece of land, you sell part of the land to somebody, the person who wants to make the screws, you sell part of the land to the person who wants to make the balls. And if you're really good, you'll get some land that's right on the border that nobody will give you any crap about rezoning it between the big city or industrialized area and the neighborhoods. And the way you will get your rezoning permit to get residences carved out of this land so that you can further liquefy the corporate entity is by selling yourself and maybe one of your other little companies, your screws or your balls, CEOs or both, or maybe you got 5 different companies that make all kinds of shit. A screwball pineapple pen or something, yeah. A screwball pin pineapple pen, yeah. Set up a strip. Ideally, the main big piece of land that you're going to buy is going to be on the intersection between that main drag as it, you know, turns into neighborhood or countryside, okay? And a side street that leads to a neighborhood. And you're going to set up your land to be a congenial boundary. so you get that zoning permit. We're going to make this property to where it's sort of a quasi public service type, environmentally promoting, type series of facilities that also provide jobs to the local area, but also the way it looks has to define that boundary that you're asking to be set up right across your property, basically, and so you can get it carved up into 2 properties or more, 2 zonings, and then carved up into 5 properties. And you got to make it look basically like if anybody went on the other side of that residency area, it would just be a stupid idea. You set up the boundary and you find a way to basically scratch their back, you scratch theirs. They scratch yours. Never resort to something that's going to have to involve bribing a politician. What you want to focus on is a way you can bribe the whole town, benefit the whole town. And that's the screwball method. Because the way to get an investor, okay, and by all means, dude, if you find a way to get started out there, and you can afford to fly yourself out here before I can fly you out here, hey, we can always fucking rebrand and recorporatize later. Cross stocks and whatnot. But the way to get a private investor on board is a 3 liquidity, man. By itself, dead in the water. I would have to be really ambitious and over presumptuous about the market to make that shit look like it would work on paper. And I don't like planning things that way. I like to plan for how's it going to be during stagnant periods. What's the minimum sales I can expect? You plan around that and you're going to succeed. Your business is going to stay open. If you were sitting there trying to inflate your fucking numbers to get a loan, you're going to fail. Your business doesn't work. That's why you had to do that, because your business doesn't work. But this screwball method can augment basically any business that somebody's really good at. Somebody, grew up doing something and they want to start a service business, they want to start a production company, they want to start a manufacturing facility. The screwball method, all you got to do is find other people who have a similar service, not complementary service, a complementary product. They want to supply something that uses the same raw materials. They want to build something that uses the same screws, bolts, wood, paper, glue, fiberglass, solder, welding machine, saws, drills, presses, payroll companies, office supplies, printers, computers, retail network, web presence, Can you see the cost numbers go down and the profits just go up for all 3 of these companies that would otherwise have problems? Well then, you take the land and you sell it to that CEO. privately. You take the land that's now residential, you sell it to you privately. And your company is now on all cash, no credit. Your investors paid back, and let the liquidity begin. What filter do I use? The only actual filters I use are typically Hagen Aquaclears, now known as Fluval Aquaclears. I've been using them since the 80s, so yeah, they're still Hagens to me. But let's see, only the 10-gallon down there is running a Hagen Aquaclear, and then there is a Rio Nano Skilter right there. The only filtration I use on this massive system is protein skimmers and a return pump, and as you can see, my back's been fucking hurting, okay? And that return pump, my backup pump is doing just fine for now. I'll get to replacing that fucking thing when my back stops hurting. That's just, I'm being lazy for now. So yeah, there's my new return pump sitting on the box. Thanks again to Joey for, you know. I can't be depressed about how broke I am anymore. Because at least I really feel like we're going somewhere now. And I can't wait to be able to talk more about it, man. I'll probably wind up launching another YouTube channel. So other than that, okay, so for a smaller setup, budget reefing, okay, this is easy reefers. Budget, low maintenance, no worries mate type reefing, okay? For a small setup, do yourself a favor. What's up, Mr. Conway? And get yourself one of them little Rio Nano skimmers, okay? That's all that's been on there. I haven't done a water change on that fucker in a year. You know, it's doing just fine down there. I got 2 true percolas, a bunch of Caulerpa that I really just need to harvest. I know. And as you can see, the alkalinity stays sharp enough to keep some purple in that fucking coralline, even though it grows all over the glass, because I don't care. I can't afford to care right now. But these guys are cool, okay? Here is a, let's see, 11-year-old one. I was kind of overstressing it by wiggling it and shit right there. That's why it's got the duct tape on there. Got an impeller, sucks up the water, adds bubbles to it. There's your adjuster. To reprime it, you just put your finger over it so the air can't get through. Protein skimmer collection right there. $40 shipped on eBay. How the fuck are you gonna beat that? They run forever. I mean, that thing still works, you know. But if you got a big tank, PD, don't fuck with Leo. I'll tear every fucking bit of rock out of there just to get, man, you're getting big. He didn't really hurt him or anything. He was just kind of my way nudge. Check PD out, man. Oh yeah, that's helping. I definitely need to get in there with the scraper. Hi, Leo. Such a handsome boy. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's fertile. He might be too underdeveloped. He might be too small to act as a fertile male, unfortunately. But oh well. I have in my Easy Reefers budget, in the plan for the fish store and the breeding facility that I'm actually going to be working at, I have money allocated for broodstock acquisition. So I'll be able to grow all of my males, or what males can grow in the females. What males are left? I don't even know if I have any actual fertile males left other than Zoom here. But Tifa and Cloud, or Tifa and Spoticus, they don't hang out together at all. They don't get along at all. I'm thinking they might both be fucking females. So that's one tubercular that's their kid. That is round spots, perfect round spots. It's great looking fish. That is an onyx from and had gotten one of her fins ripped off. And you know, onyx have the little bit of orange in the fin on the pectoral, the ventral fins, right, and the pectorals, right. They got the same kind of little round with the orange on the inside, right. When hers grew back, it grew back all black. Grew back into a full fin, just jet black. So she's got the one orange with black and outline, and she's got the one all black fin. Pretty cool. She got an orange face. Other than that, she's just about entirely black. And no Picassoing to her stripes, however, unlike the late Tatsuki, who was, I had planned on being my female, but now we have Yumachika. Her mate is now with one of my other Bubbles and Zoom offspring, but I don't think he's fertile. So Yumachika is probably going to wind up growing into a female already. She's on that path, right about at the age where they're going to start transitioning into a female. But I'll be lucky if Yumachika's fertile. I'll be lucky. I don't know. I'm just gonna put it with a male that's smaller and just make sure it's one of the fast growing ones, and it'll either outgrow Yumachika and turn it into a male, or Yumachika will outgrow it and it'll be a male and Yumachika will be a female. But Yumachika is my prized fish at this point as far as quality goes. He's a ultra premium onyx Picasso. With just the most picture perfect markings. I mean, yeah, I'll go show him. He's up at the front. Hi, little Yumachika. And there's Uni, the unicorn, streaming. And he thinks the camera's gonna feed him. See, I raised this baby. He sees my hand and he's like, feed me, daddy, feed me. That's the difference between a clownfish you raise and a clownfish, you know, that, you know. Yumi knows me, he loves me, I've been taking care of him for a while, but look at this guy. He's like jumping out the water at my hand. How fucking cute is that? Uni. Hey, honey. Hi, baby. You're so cute. Hey, Mai. There's the giant Marunocelarus Mai Tai. She's fucking huge. This is a 55 gallon. Blue Devil, Damsel, Flame Angel, and of course there's Petey, finally out again. Petey, can I get a good picture of you? No? Okay. Petey, you're not supposed to be more of a bitch than a Flame Angel. Come on, it's a Flame Angel. Alright, let me sit up a little so I can use Zoom. Petey. Hi, Ariel. Where'd you go? Petey. Oh, there he is. Wait until you're big enough. Ah, green. Cool. I'll relocate that once I get a frag tank going. Yeah, I can't wait to separate all my coral from this fucking Colurba. I think I have you to thank for not finding that fucking worm the other day. Those weird tentacle monsters that kill the stomatellas. I'm thinking the 6-line wrasse might be keeping their population under control. Oh yeah, oh my knees, oh fuck, ow. So what I got over here for was to show you, well, first of all, total lack of filtration. I have overflows, drilled overflow, drilled plastic. Oh yeah, I know, fancy shit, right? Very handy. You just use rubber round gaskets and plumbing, right? You don't actually drill it though. What you do, here's my secret, okay? Take yourself a little wood carving or soldering gun, okay? Gun, right? Just the cheap one, just the El Cheapo little. YouTube just sent you a notification. That's hilarious. And find a socket or other round tube that is the exact size of the hole that you want to make. Just put that on there, let it heat up with it, and just punch right through. So that's how I do all my little sumps and stuff and my harvesters and everything else. That's how I carve my holes in them. So anyways, oh my, just wow. Just wow. 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 I'm not ashamed. Okay, I'm a little ashamed. But, anyways, my one big filter is a protein skimmer. That's this guy right here. Seaside Aquatics. I believe this is the ES3. It's the one of the newest big models as far as hang on the backs that they've done. And it is rated for up to 120 gallons. Well, the anemones have lost the battle with the hair algae. I'm just not even fucking trying anymore with that bullshit. Anyways, so I have it basically as the main skimmer for 40 plus 55 plus 12 to 18-ish. I'm not really sure. Okay, where'd the lid go? Alright, where's Leo? Leo! Oh, there he is. Okay. I'm trying to turn him into a fertile male, so that's why I kind of flood that with food. These two guys are great, aren't they? This is what an absolute lowest possible maintenance saltwater tank looks like. I haven't even bothered to touch these filters. I just check to see if they're working. I mean, that's it, dude. To stir up the sand, I just wait until it really needs to be topped off, and I dump that fresh water in there. Absolute lowest possible maintenance method. That's what that looks like. I just wanted to, have an excuse to do it, and my excuse is to show you. So I don't have to maintain that at all, just so I can show you what it looks like. Win-win for me. Because, Capricorn. Because astrology is only as meaningful as it can be ironic. It's just for fun. People don't actually know how to use it anymore. No one that I'm aware of, anyways. Whether they're aware of me or not, that's the more interesting question. Oh, speaking of interesting, what is with the fucking fortune cookies I get, man? How dark is dark. How wise is wise. How focus is focus. Not very focused. I feel like I feel like opening up another fortune cookie on camera. Just to see if it's some sort of special message or whether it's just like a hilarious fail. Alright. I'm going to toss two of them. The one that lands closest to where my farts go is going to be the one I open. Okay? Yep, that's the one. Okay. No, I didn't switch them. I like it when they give that pleasant little poof. Oh, I'm sealed. I will not harm you. I will not give you bird flu. It says, how about another fortune? Wait, what? Accept the next proposition you hear. So, if anybody thinks that that was a message from the universe to them, sure seemed like it might be one to me. Let's go the other one now. Oh, this is brilliant. All the answers you need are there in front of you. How unfortunate. No, it wasn't there. I was showing that it wasn't there on the inside of there. It just wasn't there. All right, come on, focus for fuck's sake. That's hilarious. Right? Same camera, Even my audio drivers must be hacked, because it really, like, the talks, like the talk to text or whatever, has just gotten worse and worse in 3 different phases, at least 3 different phases that I've noticed. Now it's just getting genuinely frustrating. So anyways, Edie, just leave her alone, dude. Man, he is so fucking healthy, though. Like, you see a lot of Picasso triggers wind up seeming skinnier when they get older. Yeah, and you know what's telling about that? If you look on the Washington Post or like C-SPAN's video, the more fucking national security oriented it is, the more fucking muted it is. That last hearing where the intelligence people were basically, in so many words, saying the facts that equated to Trump being a fucking traitor and a moron, take your pick. Washington Post apparently doesn't know how to fucking use a microphone or an audio board. Because, man, I maxed the volume and I can't even fucking hear what they're saying. I'm really tired of this shit, too, man. Alright. I guess that's one good thing about being demonetized. You don't have to worry about ads having a different volume. Huh. Wow. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so remember how I was saying Zoom was sort of adopting the Australian Duncans? Well, since the last time we picked the Calerpo away from them, they've been seeming to just keep growing. Watch what he's doing. He's picking the Calerpo away from around the Duncans. Now he's scared them a little bit and caused them to retract, but he's tending to them as if he would an anemone, basically, keeping the Calerpo from overgrowing it. Which, you know, is part of the reason why apparently I've lost my fucking rose bubbles, because Calerpos just keeps overgrowing them, and I just can't pull them out of there fucking fast enough. Once you have to, like, rescue an anemone every day, it's going to get too stressed out anyways. It's not going to hold food in, it's just going to wither away. And I feel really sad about that. You know, losing a bunch of shit to a Brickanella outbreak and all that. That's one thing, but even though they were aquacultured tiny rose bubbles, I still feel bad about any sort of anemone just because it's of extreme long life potential, you know. But I was ill-prepared. I assumed too much. I thought I would, I thought we'd be having the fucking store opened up by now, really. So I'm gonna have basically my final quarantine where my brood stock are. There's going to be an intro quarantine, but everything is basically going to be its own little quarantine. I'm never going to put a fucking retail store fish into my brood stock system just because it's been in the retail store fish thing for a long time. Just because I haven't had any problems there, That's risky. Shit can remain dormant and just be there on a fish that was healthy while it was in the store but happened to be a carrier, But I'm not going to be running medication and shit in my broodstock system. So it's going to be very carefully quarantined. And it's going to be extremely high salinity. And I'm going to cultivate rose bubbles. Rose bubbles exclusively, not for their looks, but for their hardiness. Because I've seen exactly what their limits are now. And it doesn't take much effort to set something up smarter than this setup. All you have to do is never allow that one species of caulerpa in your tank. Oh, just never do that. Never let any caulerpa in your tank. Just don't let it in there. Except for, and this is just the one type of caulerpa. Well, maybe two. Alright, you got your chaetomorpha. That's just kind of a granite. You want chaetomorpha. Chaetomorpha is fucking chaetomorpha. It's like a filter that's alive, for fuck's sake. But the only type of actual leafy caulerpa that you should need is that shit that I have swaying in the waves right there. Prolifera. It doesn't do that spawning where it clouds up the tank. It grows quickly, long ways, and relatively slowly, linearly. It's a macroalgae, I believe. But I've never... I don't know how if it does any sort of spore type reproduction. I don't know. It seems to basically just break off little pieces of itself and let them float away. Like it'll just have some roots stick out from a wavy bit, and if it doesn't find anything to root onto, that just detaches and floats away. But I've never seen any sort of pods or anything. If it has any sort of embryonic spore fertilization process, it must be exuded from the leaves somehow. But I don't see that occurring at all. I don't see any evidence that occurs. So I've never known it or heard of it to like grape caulerpa does spawn and then cloud up the fucking water. It goes what is it? What do they call it? Goes, not fertile, goes reproductive, goes something, they say. Anyways. Yeah, mostly just spreads by the roots. But what's cool about those roots is they're a lot like St. Augustine roots. The grass, that just kind of, that's why I just call it seagrass. It's fucking seagrass. It grows just like a St. Augustine grass. just with nice, long, fucking wavy leaves. Up to 12, sometimes longer, inches. Smurfette. But anyways, the reason why the way it grows is helpful in a reef tank is this, the opposite of the reason why that shit's so annoying. The way that shit spreads, it just gets all up into everything. This has these big root branches that go, and if you take the big root branch, the little tiny hair roots don't sprout anything else, So when it starts to grow on your reef, you just pull it up like a strand of St. Augustine, and you're good. It's a rhizome? That sounds about right. Sean is now the expert. Mr. Conway is now the expert. Then again, he has been when it comes to botany in general for a while, but so is there any such terminology as a rhizomal macroalgae? I mean, I wonder what the actual the difference is between that and a grass. Other than the fact that it grows in salt water. What really is it? The stem in the center of the blade isn't nearly as pronounced. But, it's underwater. It doesn't really need to be. It doesn't need to have that, structure that sticks up. Not as defined anyways. I guess it's time for me to call it a broadcast. Battery's starting to get warm. Cool. I look forward to the results of that. But thanks to Mr. Conway, Mr. J-Rock, Mr.